Helmmaster EX. This award-winning system features the first single-engine joystick with digital electric steering and new autopilot capability. See Helmmaster EX in action at a Yamaha Outboard dealer or visit YamahaOutboards.com.
Hey, tune into this week's weekly video fishing forecast for a sneak peek at an interview with our 2024 Dream Boat winner. We have an update on the new boater laws coming up that went into effect on January 1st. We have upcoming events and another open boat special for you guys.
The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners.
So today's January 3rd. First off, I want to wish you all a happy new year. We're in 2025. I hope you had a great holiday with your friends and family, and we're welcoming in the new year. But we got some important fishing news for you, especially if you're a boater. Starting off on January 1st, you have to get your boater safety course certificate to operate a motorboat in New York. Just went into effect January 1st. And Tim C. Smith has more information on that. Tim, what do you got for us?
Yeah, Matt, I'm here with Mike from Nautical School. He's going to tell us what you need to know about the new regulations that have gone into effect on January 1st, the Safe Boating Certificate.
Yeah, absolutely. So as of January 1, anyone, regardless of age, who operates a motorized watercraft in New York State is required to have a New York State Safe Boating Certificate. These courses can be found online at newyorkstateparks.gov. We also offer them here at the Nautical School in Lindenhurst, Nautical School Freeport, and also in Manhattan. Classes are usually held once a month. 8-hour course could be spread over 2 weeknights or 1 full Saturday. We also do private courses for groups of 6 or more.
And you have a discount that you're going to be offering to Fisherman readers and subscribers?
Absolutely. Anyone can go on our website, nauticalschool.com, insert the promo code Fisherman25 to get $25 off your safe boating course.
And Mike, why do you think is the toughest part about this course? Is there any tricky questions or anything, or what do people need to know about what they're going to be talking about in this course? Yeah,
so we go through a lot of rules of the road on there. All of which do actually apply in the Great South Bay, regardless of how many people are out there on a given weekend. There is some tricky questions on there about internal engines and combustions, as well as some questions on there with weather and types of watercraft.
Great, Mike. Well, there you have it from Lindenhurst. We got Mike here from Nautical School, and he'll get you that certificate you need to go boating this coming season. Back to you, Matt.
On this week's Open Boat, Jenni preps the surfcasters for hibernation with some tips and tricks to get your gear ready for the spring run. What do you got for us, Jenni?
Open Boat, and you might be wondering why I'm in bibs and foul weather gear. Well, it's time to pack up the surf rods and move on to either winter hibernation, or if you're like me, we're going on the boat. We're going blackfishing. It's the winter, let's go. But today's Open Boat, I want to talk about a little fall run shutdown for the season, some tips and tricks to prep your gear for the spring run. Starting off with proper storage. Never want to leave your stuff just like thrown in the back of your truck or in a storage bin. With my waders and stuff, I hang them up so they can air out and everything. And another important thing with the winter is checking your waders for leaks. If you suspect during the fall run season you have a leak in your waders, my favorite way to find them is, you can usually pinpoint where the leak is based off of where your sweatpants are wet. But you take a flashlight and you put them on the inside of your waders and you shine out, and you can usually find that little pinhole leak. So patch your waders for the winter season. Let them just sit somewhere and hang out, and they're good to go for the spring. Moving on to your rods and reels. During the winter, it's really good to check your rod's guides for any potential cracks in that ceramic ring. You do not want to be losing your plugs during the spring on your first cast, especially when there's bunker around and you're throwing those big, expensive custom metal lips. So you can take an X-Acto knife or a blade of any kind and just run it on the inside of the guide itself. And if it catches, then you have a chipped guide. And same thing with reels. If you can repair it yourself, that's great. Always service your reels. Make sure you know what you're doing. There's tons of videos online and blueprints you can follow, but if you don't, rod and reel repairs. A lot of local tackle shops will service your rod and reels for you. So get those in to your local tackle shops sooner than later so you can have your gear back for the spring run season. Now, with your plugs, if you have a lot of old reliable plugs that you fish in the fall and also in the spring, you're gonna wanna check them out. Check their hooks, make sure the hooks are still good. Even if there's like a little bit of rust on them, I'll literally swap out my hooks. Check the eyelets and everything. Make sure there's no cracks in the plug itself. You can always hopefully replace it for the spring, but just make sure everything is good to go. And last but not least, one thing I like to do when I don't need to service a reel is when my rods are just laid back here for storage, loosen your drag. A lot of people will leave their drag tight on a reel, and for that reel to be sitting like that for such a long time, like months, it can really just, like, imagine like if you constantly like gritted down on your teeth like this and you did that for months on end. That's gonna screw up your entire face. It's gonna hurt and everything. So that's what your reel on tight drag is doing, just sitting there, not putting in its work. So loosen the drag, let it chill out, like, you know, like relax your face, like don't have it super duper tight when it's not in use. But remember for the spring run, when you go out, tighten your drag so you don't lose a fish. Always remember to do that. That's very important. So yeah, those are just some quick little tips for the fall run shutdown, prepping for the spring. So hopefully you guys all had a really good fall run season. I know it wasn't as, you know, picturesque as we always want it to be. There was a lot of trial and error and finicky bites, but we made it work. So keep an eye out for the Surfcasters challenge too. If you guys participated, I just released one where it's your favorite lure. So if you have a lure or like a fish you caught this past season or even the season beforehand, I don't mind, that you caught on your favorite lure, like go back in your camera roll and shoot me an email and send it to me to be featured. Those are gonna be coming up. And I look forward to future open boats in the new year. Happy New Year also, everyone. And Merry Christmas. Open boats in the future are gonna be great. We've been trucking along here. This is the second New Year's Eve message I sent to you guys for open boat. So thank you guys all for watching and leaving comments and emailing me and like telling me at the shows, you know, what you like, everything like that. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the show season, or maybe you'll see me out there blackfishing. I know I'm gonna be doing a lot of that in the coming months. So I'll see you guys. Prep up for the winter, get ready for hibernation if you're not fishing, and let's get ready for some spring run fishing. I'll see you guys on next week's open boat.
The Fisherman Flea Market is back at its new location, the Hibernian Hall, 27 Locust Avenue, Babylon. Sunday, January 26, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Over 50 tables with new and used fishing gear. Save $1 on advance tickets. Get all the details at fishermanfleamarket.com.
Meet the Fisherman Magazine's 2024 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge winner, Kyle Cross, who was interviewed down at the Steiger Craft plant in Bellport with Mike Caruso and Al Steiger. For the full video, click the link in the description below.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing, that nothing says no to fish bites.
Now let's check in with some of the upcoming events around the island. First off, starting up, we have on January 19th is the Striper Day located at War Melville High School. That's 380 Old Town Road. Then January 22nd through the 26th is the New York Boat Show at the Jacob J. Javits Convention Center. That's in New York City. And also on the 26th is the Fisherman's Flea Market at the Babylon Hibernian Hall. For more information on these events and more from the Fisherman, visit thefisherman.com/events. Boat show season is coming up fast, but if you know where to look, you can get in on some great boat show pricing. Here's Tim C. Smith with all the details.
Yeah, Matt, the boat show season is coming up, and yes, it's true, you can get some great deals, but sometimes you have to look beyond the shows to get the best value and lowest prices on a new boat. Here's an extremely aggressive offer on new boats that you should take a look at. Great Oak Marine in St. James, New York has 3 leftover fin seeker boats with almost every option. Great Oak Marine is highly motivated to move these boats, like this 2023 28-foot dual console fin seeker powered by a pair of 300 V8 Mercs. Or this 2024 28-foot dual console also powered by a pair of 300 Mercs. They also have a 2024 26-foot dual console powered by a pair of 250 Mercs. Remember, the warranty doesn't start until you purchase the boat, so these are really good deals. These boats won't last, so call Great Oak Marine now.
All right, let's get over to the map for some brief reports from the last week. Starting out of Capt, the Laura Lee, they had their last sea bass trip of the year and it produced all jumbos. They had red hake and large porgies as well. The King Cod out of Capt, they had a pick of sea bass starting to go out of range, they said. However, they do know where a bunch of big ling are for upcoming trips. Some tough upcoming weather kept them tied up to the dock as well. Look into them for after the New Year, so some deep water mudhole, monster ledge ling trips with some other species in the mix as well. They may also be adding in some eastbound cod trips down the beach. The Super Hawk at a Point Lookout reported the fishing has been very good with catches of giant sea bass, very consistent. Jumbo porgies in the mix and weak fish, pollock and more. Their last sea bass trip on the 31st took place. They did very well. Then they will have their cod and ling trips on January 4th and 5th. Also over at J&J Sports in Patchogue, Pablo checked in and said the lakes were iced up last week from that cold snap. He did know that Connecticut State Park was open for fly fishing and producing rainbows and brown trout. He also mentioned that some of the tidal creeks are starting to produce white perch. Also, keep in mind, sea bass season is now closed for the year, but we do have a bunch of other species between the freshwater. We have the trout, we have the tidal creeks as well for white perch. Connecticut is always a great option. And also keep in mind that some of these boats that are still in the water will be running deep water cod trips all winter long. If you do have a notable catch, email me at mbroderick@thefisherman.com. I will try and get your photo into the weekly video fishing forecast or the magazine. With our fly and freshwater report, we have Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Matt. Well, I hope everybody had a happy and healthy holidays and a new year. It is crazy. All of a sudden, we were out here. Yesterday, I was out hiking. It was 50 degrees. Today, it's barely getting up to 40, and the wind is howling. So we do have, the winter's here. The winter's here. But that doesn't mean we quit fishing. Last week, because of the holidays and the warm weather, the Connecticut was filled every day, packed. I guided a couple of guys on the Sunday, and it was good. We had a lot of fish. For beginners, they did very well. They caught fish. The casting got better. And they took one home for dinner. So it was good. It was a good day. I was going to go out again, but when I called up, they were filled already. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to stay home and get some paperwork done for the business and leave it at that. But let's say you call up and you find out the park's filled. There are many options here on Long Island. One of them is, of course, the Carls River. You have Rattlesnake Creek, you have Bubbles Falls, you do have Massapequa Creek, you do have the ponds, though after today they're probably going to have ice on them. And so you have a lot of options, Go to Connecticut, go up to Westchester. If you want, spend a couple hours, drive it up into the Catskills. They're all fishing well, but with this cold weather, they're probably going to have a lot of shelf life. Just be careful out there. Or you're going to do what a lot of my guys are doing, is we're going to tie flies. And you could still get in on the fly tying classes this year. Just go to riverbayoutfitters.com and just check out what you have to do for the classes. It's a great way to spend the winter. Have a great time. Now, if you do decide to go out and fish, and you can fish now, you're going to have a problem with guides freezing up. So a lot of people, what they do is they try, don't ever try to break it out of the guides. You're going to break the guides. But they'll put stuff on it like chapstick or WD-40. But that stains the guides, and I'm not quite sure what it's going to do to the line. Use a product from Loon Outdoors called Stanley Ice Off. It's a good product for doing, keeping the ice from building up on the guides. You will have to reapply it because it does wear off, but it's a great way of doing it. So you don't get off the couch, tie flies, come into the shop, have coffee with me, and until next week, tie lines.
Let's check on in with Chris Landry.
Thanks, Matt. What's up, everybody? Captain Gaige here reporting to you from the studio because it's way too cold to be sitting on my boat. I can't believe this is going to be the last fishing report for 2024, and Christmas is already behind us. Tonight kicks off Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, and I want to wish everybody a happy and healthy holiday season. The next report will be in 2025, but at least we closed out the year with some good news, guys. The Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission voted to keep the recreational fishing regulations the same for one more year. So that's really good news. Speaking of good news, we got Chef Rob in the studio tonight for episode 13 of Bay Rats and Buoys. You guys are not going to want to miss this episode. It will follow this fishing report in all the Facebook groups, so stick around. Wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines, and a happy new year. Episode 13 of Bay Rats and Buoys. Let's go!
Raul Ortiz has a report from around the city.
Hey guys, Raul Ortiz here, the Urban Angler. Sorry if I sound scratchy, but I'm very sick right now, and probably going to be bedridden for the next few days. Went out over the weekend during the mild weather. Was able to catch a few fish at 2 different spots. In the western part of the Long Island Sound. A few of the guys as well doing good in the city. But you still got fish anywhere from schoolie size to around 20 plus pounds. If you could figure out the river, the East River, guys, you'll be on fish in no time. But besides that, that's all I got. Plastics are still working, guys. If you like tsunami shad, tsunami eels, those are what's been working for me. You gotta go sometimes change the weight or the size up on what you're using, but right now it looks like they were going for smaller profiles. Smaller profile, not a big profile. So, gotta try to match the hatch to whatever they want in these kind of conditions. Anyway, that's all I got, guys. I hope you all have a great new year. I wish you all the best, peace, love, and happiness. And I want to give a shout out to my buddy Joe, Nothing Ever Changing. My buddy Patrick, thank you guys for the pictures. And tight lines. Back to you, Matt.
Keep in mind, the Fisherman does have their apparel store open. Hats, sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, they're all online now with free shipping with orders over $100. It is a great gift for yourself or that angler in your life. Visit thefisherman.com/shop or click on the card in the upper right. Keep in mind, this video is available as a podcast on Google Music. Search for the Fisherman Magazine podcast and subscribe so you can listen to this broadcast and our other content. And we will see you next week here at the Fisherman Magazine Weekly Video Fishing Forecast.